Hello and welcome to week 4 of your standing core strength and coordination program. I'm Dr. Andy Fetterman with RebuildDoc.com. Our next workout routine here is going to add a little more complexity, and we're only going to utilize a kettlebell with this workout and our own body weight. Our first movement today is going to be a step back lunge with a twist. To do that, we're going to step back, go down into a lunge position, and then we're going to twist our body either direction and stand back up. I'm not too concerned about how deep you go with this actual lunge. You can go to where your knee is barely touching the ground or slightly touching to get through the full range of motion if you'd like to. If you're only going down to where you're about 6 inches off the ground, that's okay. We want to focus on the pelvis moving one leg forward, one leg back to add that little bit of instability, to also add a torquing manner onto our pelvis as we're doing the maneuver. We're here, turning, twisting. From a side view, to give you a better idea, we're stepping back, coming down, twisting. If you notice, my torso is trying to be as perpendicular to the ground as possible as I go through this maneuver. So stepping this direction, here, turn. If you feel that you need to put your knee down on the ground, that's okay too from a stabilization standpoint. It's a complex movement. The next one, we're going to bring back our kettlebell, and we're going to bring back the squat that we did before. We're going to hold the kettlebell in a front rack position, which is where we'll take the kettlebell through our hand. We're going to put it on the back of our wrist, and we're going to hold it on one side of our body. As we do this, normally it says reps of 10, so you're going to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other. So if you remember, feet are slightly about wider than shoulder width apart, toes slightly pointed out. Hips go back first, opening up our hips and squatting down. Remember, our movement's more important than how deep we go. Hips back first, pressure on the outer part of our feet to open up our hips. So you can see it from the side. We're here and squatting. Hips go back and we're squatting. We can then switch our hands after 5 reps, and you can do the same thing here on the back here as we go back through here. Our next movement is going to be a standing overhead circle. So to do that, we're going to take the kettlebell above, and we're going to do circles high above our head, 10 in one direction, 10 in another. We're doing circles high. Then we switch right into halos, which go around, down to the hip, hip up, around the head, to the other hip, around here. And you're going back and forth, looping around the back of your head as you're utilizing this maneuver. So if you see it from the side standpoint, kettlebell's going down and around. If you have limited shoulder range of motion, it might look more like the circles you just did, but that's okay as we go through these maneuvers. Our last movement is going to be a standing oblique bend with the kettlebell. So we're going to hold the kettlebell on one side, feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to bring the kettlebell down and then bring it up. So basically, as if you're setting it down, go past your knee and back up. So this hip is moving perpendicular to the ground in the opposite direction of the hand that's holding the kettlebell. With this, I'd like you to do 10 on one side, switch, and then go 10 on the other side. Try to make sure that you're translating this way, not back and around, to make sure you're getting as much pressure through this. Now again, hold your stomach tight as you go through all these exercises as best you can. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at relief@rebuilddoc.com. If not, enjoy the workout.